now. Yes. So just to tell you a little bit about what we're gonna do tonight, we're gonna introduce ourselves, and then we're gonna celebrate seniors as we kind of in the normal way that we do, where we hear from someone who was impacted by that senior, and then we hear some words of wisdom from that senior. Then we're gonna do a little creative way to thank the seniors. We'll get to that. And then I'm just kind of gonna lead us in like a prayer time at the end. But can everybody hear me okay? Cool. I know that some of you who like have been coming to the virtual deep and stuff know we like are all muting ourselves. Don't actually feel like you have to mute yourselves on this call, because I was imagining it and I was like, when people are sharing, if they say something funny and then it's just like silence, that's going to be so awkward. So you don't have to keep yourself muted. I, as the host, have the ability to mute you. So if I hear a lot of background noise, I will just go ahead and mute you. Or if you start having like weird delays or something, echoes, but you don't have to stay muted. We can all just hear each other respond, almost like we're just interacting.
They're like, who's this guy?
Is the audio on?
They're all like, it's that awkward, like, who is this guy?
Say this to Allison's feeling.
Does anybody know who that is?
It's Allison. It's Allison.
Oh!
Hey, Allison!
I was like, am I being Zoom bombed for the first time? We'll kick this person out. Hi, thanks, Tori. No. Hi, Allison.
I saw the confusion on your face, Lizzie, and I was like, should I step in now or should I let her like suffer a little bit more?
Yes, you help me. Oh my gosh. Guys, I feel like my whole like world flashed before my eyes. I was like, is this about to get so awkward? Are you recording it?
Glad it's recorded.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna start with introductions. The way we've been doing introductions in some other meetings is like, because we're all in a different order on our screens, like nobody's screen looks the same right now. I'm gonna just introduce myself, and then I'm gonna call on someone to introduce themselves, and then when you go, you just pick someone else, and hopefully we'll get through everyone. I just want you to really quickly just say your name and your year, which means if you are a student, you're in school. If you're an alum, what year you graduated. And then you can say how long you've been involved with InterVarsity. And you can interpret that however you'd like. Some of you, that answer is confusing. So all of you know that I'm Lizzie, and I've been involved with InterVarsity for 15 years. But I don't have a year, clearly. I don't even go here. So we'll just jump around. And I'm going to start with someone who's going to hate probably going first, but that's fine. Grace.
My name's Grace. I'm a freshman, and I joined InterVarsity at the beginning of the fall semester. And then I'll go Eve.
Hi, I'm Eve. I'm also a freshman, and I started coming this semester. Sierra.
Hey guys, I'm Sierra, senior. Happy senior night, guys. And I've been involved with InterVarsity for 3 years. We'll go with Tori.
Are you planning to stay involved with InterVarsity or?
That's coming later.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm
Wait,
saying,
what was the question?
Just how long have you been involved with InterVarsity? But I just made a joke about, are you staying involved?
3 years. And
Oh, okay, sorry. I couldn't hear that part.
3 years and I'm staying involved with InterVarsity.
So I knew you were going to pass it to me, so I forgot what alumni are supposed to say. My name's Tori.
When you graduated.
Oh, I graduated in 2018. And then I've been involved with InterVarsity for 8 years.
Do you want to explain to the people who don't know you why you're still involved with InterVarsity?
Nope, I don't want to explain anything. I just want to like sit. That'd be really confusing. No, after I graduated, I joined InterVarsity staff, and I'm on staff at UNC Wilmington.
You're so close to me.
We can talk about that later. That's really exciting.
All right.
Do you want to go next, Alexis?
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
go to Alex. I forgot. I'm totally dropping them all. Someone else go.
All right, I'm Alexis. I graduated last year, so 2019, and I was involved with InterVarsity 3 years, so I joined my sophomore year. And we'll go Sydney Weaver.
Oh, is there more than? Oh yeah, sleuth. I forgot. There's more than one. Sleuth. Sydney, I remember you. I promise. I'm just like not. I'm not used to it anymore.
She's not freshman
I
Sydney
forgot
anymore.
it's a reality.
Sure. That's what you want to say.
Hey, I'm Sydney. The elder Sydney, I guess. I don't know. I graduated in 2019. I was involved since my freshman year of college, but nice to meet new faces. And I'll pass it to Adriana.
Hi, I'm Adriana. I graduated last year in 2019, and I was involved in InterVarsity from starting my freshman year, so 4 years. Trisha.
Hey guys, I'm Trisha. I graduated in December 2018, which feels like just yesterday. But I was involved in InterVarsity from my sophomore year to then, so like 2.5 years. And I think we'll pass it to Becca.
Oh, I knew it. I don't know why, but I knew it. I'm Becca. I'm a senior. Oh my goodness, it's finally come. And I started going to InterVarsity freshman year, but I really started getting involved sophomore year, so like 3.5-ish years, I guess. I'm gonna pass it to Dea. That's my co.
That's my co. I'm Daya.
That's my co.
So I'm a sophomore. I've been involved in InterVarsity since my freshman year. So it's been like almost 2 years, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Susan.
Okay. I'm keeping up. My name's Susan. I'm a grad student, so like, and then, which technically I'm in my second year of grad school, but I'm compressing my program, so long thing, not gonna go into it. And then, I've been involved with InterVarsity since a little over 3 years, because it was my last semester of sophomore when I joined it, so 3 years-ish. And I'll pass it to Sydney Luth.
You have to unmute. There you
That's
go.
what I was trying to do, and it wasn't working very well.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was more irked by the fact that you caught me mid-fight.
I have good timing.
But I'm eating dinner. I go to work later, but I'm Sydney. I'm currently junior, rising senior. Not wanting to talk about that. And yeah, I've been technically involved with InterVarsity since my freshman year, but I would say I really started getting involved my sophomore year.
You gotta pick
You gotta pass it to
someone.
somebody else.
Pick someone, yeah.
Catherine.
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 Yeah.
Catherine, what's up?
Hi. Is it my turn? I'm sorry, I'm not.
It is now.
Well, I'm Catherine. I was involved with InterVarsity for 3 years because I was only in college for 3 years. Otherwise, it would have been 4. And I graduated in May 2018.
Pick someone to pass it to.
Oh, thank you. Has Nathan gone?
No.
Nathan.
All right. I'm Nathan. I'm a senior, graduating in December, and been involved since sophomore year. Let's do Connor.
So I'm Connor. I'm in my third year of pharmacy school, so I've been involved with InterVarsity for 5 years. And so technically last year was my graduation year, but this year is my senior night. but I don't actually graduate school till next year. It's confusing.
Where do
but
we celebrate
I
Connor?
don't know.
Also, those of you who have graduated will appreciate that when I got back from sabbatical, we realized that Connor has actually been a part of USC InterVarsity longer than me because of sabbatical. So we've decided that he's just staff now. So anyway, sorry.
So Daniel.
I'm Daniel. I'm a junior, and that's been involved since freshman year. Let's go, Ben.
Hello, my name is Ben. I graduated last year, and I was involved with IB for 4 years. Let's go with Noah, because I haven't talked to Noah in a minute.
How's it going, Ben? I'm Noah. Technically, I'm also a senior graduating in May, but I was only at USC for like 4.5 months. Crazy stuff happened and I had to go back home to UNC Charlotte. But like, these are my people. I love these guys. So yeah, I'm technically alumni, but I'm also technically graduating.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but good to see everyone. I'll pass it to Eric.
All right, what up? It's your boy Eric coming at you with another video. Yeah, I've been involved for 4 years. I'm a senior, but I'm going to law school after this, so really this is just halfway through my 7-year bid. Yeah, so that's fun. I guess it's just Ryan Long left, right?
No, there's a few people, I think.
Either way, it's Ryan Long. He's getting it. He's getting a torch.
Okay.
He's taking a hand
Hi,
off.
everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Ryan. I'm a freshman, and I joined in my fall semester. So yeah, let's go with Jackson.
Hey, so I'm Jackson. I'm a senior, and I've been involved with InterVarsity more this year, just 1 year. I'll pass it off to Liv.
I'm Liv. I'm also a senior, and I got involved in with InterVarsity the spring of my freshman year.
Because of Noah, which I
Because
didn't
of
know.
Noah.
I didn't know that either, so we both learned that today, Lizzie.
I think we have 2 people left, if I'm know correctly. Got
Yeah.
Nicole and Allison.
So Allison.
Hi guys, sorry, it's confusing with my name. I'm Allison. I graduated in 2017 and I got involved in InterVarsity my freshman year. And it's also so great to see you all. Who else hasn't gone?
Tuggle. I don't think you know her, but she's the one person who hasn't gone.
Okay, Tuggle. Thanks, guys. Kind of, yeah, whatever. Kind of a senior, kind of a junior. I finished on campus this year, and I go to my internship for 1.5 years, so I'm done on campus, but whatever. Considered a senior. And then I joined IB, I think 1.5 years ago. Catchell knows. I don't know. It was one summer. Yeah, so we're just going to say 1.5 years ago.
Nice. Yeah, so we got a few people who are traditional seniors that we're celebrating, and then a few people who are done on campus or leaving Columbia or finishing grad school. You know, we're just kind of like throwing it all together. So I think you all heard me, but welcome. So glad you guys are here. You know, it's a weird time, and I don't even feel like I need to name that it's a weird time. We're all living through an unprecedented weird time. But I just want to name like the sadness of not getting to be together and not getting to celebrate in person and, you know, be in that room in Russell House hearing from each other. However, it is really fun to see a lot of alums' faces in here and see you guys, like, knowing the connections of, like, you know, that a lot of you who are graduating are people that, like, Tori and Catherine and Allison and Trisha, other people, like, led and prayed for and invested in for years. So it's just, like, cool to see. And Ben, I mean, it's just cool. So I'm very thankful, actually, for this weirdness that we're having. So like I said, we're just going to celebrate seniors. We're going to do it kind of in the way. So you know that if you've done a senior night with us, you know that I normally have gift bags in a row that signify what order people are going in. I do not have gift bags because seniors, you're going to be getting your gifts in the mail from me, rather than, you know, in a gift bag in person. But yeah, what we do is I've talked to people ahead of time who are going to share for different seniors, and basically just have an opportunity to share how a senior has impacted them and how they've seen God work in that senior's life and how God has used that senior to work in their life as well. And then we pass it right off, like whoever speaks for that senior then shares whatever words of wisdom they have, kind of for underclassmen. I told people to think of it as like, what would you tell yourself as like a freshman or sophomore? You could give yourself advice, just to the rest of us, how we want to think about the rest of college. So we will do that. I want you guys to be thinking. So what we're going to do after we share for the seniors is we're going to, traditionally, if we were in person, we would all be writing notes to them. And so what we're going to do instead is I'm going to leave like some, it's going to be probably weird, but that's fine. Some silence for people to literally like write out a text to whatever senior they're close to, and literally send it to their phone right now tonight. And then seniors, I would encourage you to like screenshot that and keep it and commemorate that, as a way for you guys to have something, words from other people as well. And then, like I said, I will pray for us. So that's kind of the plan. And we are going to kick things off. I tend to try to kind of think through, kind of working backwards of who's been involved the longest. And so the person, I just realized the person who I was going to have us start with isn't here. That's cool.
Yeah, he texts me, he says he's doing some presentations and stuff, so it'll be, he might show up late, but.
Okay, well, if he shows up, then we'll have you talk for Alex, who is not here. So we're going to jump into Becca. I'm going to have you share for who you're sharing for.
Okay. So, I'm on mute, not on mute. Okay,
no,
cool. Making sure. Sorry. So Susan. So I have a little thing I wrote out. I'm just gonna read it. So I first met Susan at the end of actually a deed back in April 2017. We both had just been offered RN positions at Bates House, and she was the first friend that I made on staff. We have grown so much in our friendship since then, and I'm just so grateful for all the long conversations that we shared at the Bates House conference table. You're such an amazing friend, and I want to thank you so much for always being a good shoulder to cry on and someone I can come to for any reason. I've seen God work in your life so much because you've blossomed into more of a social butterfly since I first met you. Now you've been more open about yourself, and you're not afraid to dance like nobody's watching anymore. I know you credit that to me and Maddie, but no, it really definitely shown, like, you showed me so much through our friendship. The biggest thing is how to have somebody's back no matter what. You have stuck by my side through thick and thin, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate you. I hope you continue to pursue a relationship with God after graduation, because just know He will always love you and He will never leave you. Congratulations, Susan. You made it through the horrors that is grad school.
Susan, do you have any words of wisdom to drop on us?
I definitely do. But first, I want to make sure I go ahead and say thank you to Becca.
Yeah, this is where we give a hug, virtual hug.
I was going to say the virtual hug moment, girl. Like, and I hope we cross paths in person where I can give you an actual hug in here.
Yes, hopefully.
I mean, I hope so. At this point, I'm hoping I'll see a bunch of people that move out when we all come get our stuff, because we know we're going to do that. As far as words of wisdom to myself, I thought long and hard on it. I thought about how, like, guidance I would have wanted in freshman year and sophomore year. A big key point was me wanting to realize that I should have, something I would have wanted to have said to myself is to have embraced who I was in college more sooner than I ended up doing, because I ended up having a lot of judgment thrown at me first year that I didn't necessarily handle well. And it was through meeting people like you, Becca, meeting the other close friends that I have that have not judged me in the slightest, I mean, one of my fondest memories in college is going to go down as being me and Sydney down at Frankie's trying to get that Glenda card. That's going to go down as one of them. Like, she was sitting there with me doing this, and we're after this little plastic Glenda card I still have because I wanted it. And she was like, all right, you do, let's get it. Like, those kind of things, once I learned to embrace who I was, I ended up having a lot more of a fun time. I'm eternally, eternally grateful to my best friend Isaiah for even introducing me to this. He was the one who sat there gently pressing me while I was involved around him in the building, saying, hey, you should come if you have a chance and have time. Like, this would be a great group to be a part of. And then I agreed and went one evening, and I didn't look back. I was like, nope, I love this group of people. For me, ultimately, it was a sense of finding a place where I belonged and where I felt most at home. And I found that through people and this group and everything more. And it definitely helped me redirect like my faith and everything else, because I was able to learn through like the InterVarsity Deeps and the small groups where like things I'd been taught, where the differences were, where the similarities were. It expanded my knowledge. It continues to expand my knowledge. And it's really kept my curiosity going. So I don't know. That's most of it for me.
That's great.
No, that's good. Good job, Susan.
Yes, Susan. He got the clap emoji. I like to just do that.
Here we
go. That's awesome. Thank you, Susan. We've loved having you as a part of our community. So I guess I'm calling on the person who's going to speak for the next person. So next up, Eric, go ahead and share who you're speaking for. And do unmute yourself.
What is that face?
I was looking for the like surprised emoji, but I couldn't find it. So here I go. I was panicking. I'm on my phone, so like, I had no else to do. So anyway, get this train rolling again. I can't do this.
You're not gonna look
okay.
at the camera? Look at the camera.
Look directly in the camera the whole time?
Yes.
No, that's worse. That's worse. I can't do it. I did.
I miss you, Eric. Oh my goodness.
You too, Noah. I miss you too. So anyway, I am speaking for Nathan. So
what?
I don't know why that was funny.
It's my senior night.
Top of your head.
Yes, this is your senior night, Nathan.
I thought it was in December.
No, you don't have
Oh my gosh, tricked me.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't like? Are you saying you don't like my ceiling fan?
No, you're good. Go.
Okay.
Eric, share.
This is so much. Unless you want me to hold it literally right up to my face, which I don't want to do. So anyway, speaking for Nathan. So we met about 2.5 years ago at the scavenger hunt. It was in the midst of Connor and I's first semester trying to lead a small group, and as I think most of you know, that did not go well at all. So funny enough, we had one guy who went to one meeting, never showed up again, never called us, never texted us, completely ghosted us. And then our boy here, Nathan, he, throughout the first couple of months of all the turmoil and us like keep canceling meetings, not doing anything, he like kept with us, kept staying in contact with us. Finally showed up around Halloween. We had our first meeting. I don't think we ever told Lizzie that, but it was Halloween we had our first meeting.
Cool.
And just the way I've seen God work in his life, he is probably the most motivated individual I've ever met. The fact that he wakes up at like 5 a.m. every day, goes for runs, is in the Navy, still finds time to like follow God, read scripture, and just go to like participate in small groups and stuff like that. It really is commendable. Like, because as we all know, I wake up at 10 a.m. every day and complain about doing 2 hours of homework and then go back to bed. But I've just seen Nathan and God just provide motivation and, I'd say, guidance for me. And I'd say that's really all I have. Nathan, the floor is yours.
Is the floor mine, Lizzie?
The floor is yours.
All
Yeah,
right.
all of
So
it.
now I see what Lizzie's doing. She had me write something for Eric, so I guess it's a whole big setup.
Oh my God.
Spoiler alert!
Spoiler. All right.
Share your
Eric, I'm going to be saying all this to your ceiling fan, okay? So you ready?
Well, no, wait. Don't talk about Eric.
What?
Words of wisdom.
You have words of wisdom?
Yeah, what's your words?
Oh,
of
yeah,
wisdom,
that's right.
and you're
well,
jealous of my ceiling fan. You know it.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. I just wanted to flex on everybody.
Wow, I'm completely off guard here, but I think what I want to say is I've really appreciated InterVarsity's role in my life. So in freshman year, I didn't have like a church group or anything, and I felt a little lost, not disciplined enough to go to church group or not motivated enough because I was so busy. And ever since I joined InterVarsity, I've been not only have a deeper faith, but been happier now that I've been more meaningful in terms of approaching my relationship to God. And it's also been great because I remember, as Eric mentioned, that first meeting, like game night at fall of 2017, you guys always been so welcoming. And I remember a game night, Ben and I were just like a couple of nerds talking about like Pokemon and stuff. And that was a lot of fun. You guys have always made me feel welcomed. And so I haven't felt limited socially in terms of getting closer to God through fellowship. So that's been great.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yay. I guess I didn't know this, but I guess Zoom's limit per page is 25 people because Keela is here, but you might not see her.
What?
Oh, I see.
In the corner. Hi, Keela.
Hi, Keela.
I guess those of you on phones are like, I can only see 4 people anyway. So, but anyway, it's fun to have so many faces here. So we are going to keep celebrating. So every once in a while, there is a student or a senior that I take for myself. And I don't ask anybody to speak for them because I want to. And so I am going to speak for Tuggle.
Oh, God.
No, don't start that.
Ooh, don't get us started.
No.
Oh, no, I was not prepared for that.
Lizzie, please
Hey,
don't
what's
start
going
this
on?
now. You know how I was earlier. Please don't.
I'm not trying to. Don't
cool.
start crying. Okay. Tuggle, I love you. And I met Tuggle because Sierra was like, I have this friend who I'm going to make come to InterVarsity. And I was like, I love that. That's the best. And Tuggle, you have seriously been such a fun person to meet with and to talk to the last 2 years. And I mean, you guys know that it was hard for me to leave for a semester anyway. But it's people like you and others who I knew were leaving at the end of the semester, end of the year, that was like some of the hardest people to not be able to meet with, and I hate that I missed a whole semester of your life. That is the only thing that like made me cry on sabbatical, was thinking about how much I missed you guys, and you were a really big part of that. I've told friends this, I've told you this, I've told Sierra this, but I've truly never seen someone try to figure out Jesus so like carefully and intentionally in my entire life. Like, you came to InterVarsity like, I don't know what I believe, and I don't know what I'm doing, and my life is kind of crazy, so I'm up to try anything. And you just brought such a fun energy, and then to watch you like study scripture the way that you did and like figure out Jesus, I was like, this is amazing. Like, most Christians I know don't study the Bible like this, because you were determined to figure out who this Jesus person was. And one of my favorite Tuggle stories that some people know is that last spring we studied this InterVarsity concept called the thresholds. For a second I forgot. It's fine. It's just my job. Called the 5 thresholds, and it's the idea of like the spectrum someone walks as they become a Christian, as they go from being a seeker. Wait, no, somebody tell me what the first one is. I don't even know. Tori, you know?
Trusting a Christian.
Yeah.
Trust.
Right. All the way to following Jesus. And so anyway, so Tuggle, we were studying that at the Deep, and Tuggle is there knowing that she's like on the spectrum, but not actually following Jesus yet. And she's just like, yeah, I'm here. Oh, I would actually feel that I'm right there. And was just so vulnerable and so honest. But then one night I got a text because their small group studied the parable of the sower, which is a parable that Jesus tells where seed falls on different types of soil. And Tuggle, who at that point had not said yes to Jesus, was not sure she wanted to follow him, had figured out that each soil mirrors one of the thresholds. And like the people who wrote the book on the thresholds didn't even know that. Like, I texted that to so many of my coworkers because I was like, oh, hey, my student who's not sure if she wants to follow Jesus yet figured this out. Hey, you guys should figure it out. One of my favorite nights was sitting with you about a year ago this time in Russell House with Sierra after the Deep. The 3 of us talked till like midnight about your questions and your barriers. And one of the things you said to me that said to us that will forever go down as one of like my favorite things I've ever heard a student say is you said, I don't want to just do this. If I'm going to do this Jesus thing, I don't want to just do it because I'm like in college and hang out with you guys. I want to do it because I really mean it. Like I want to do it. If I'm going to do this, I want to do it after college. Like I want to believe it enough to make it like a real thing. And I remember feeling like, I wish everybody would consider that. I wish everybody would consider that as like a step in following Jesus, that like this is a lifelong thing. So I'm not that surprised that you said yes to Jesus while I wasn't there, because we kind of saw that coming. We kind of predicted that. I got that call on the beach in Hawaii and screamed my brains out. It's fine.
Subtle flex.
Casually on the beach in Hawaii, yeah.
Casually, it's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, was the best news I've ever heard. I was just so happy. And I just want to say, you guys know me, I have 3 words, and they all start with the same letter, of course, because that's how I do. About you, Tuggle. The first one is unsurprising. The first one is that you're sassy. And I love that about you. I love that I'm always going to get your honest opinion, even when it's kind of mean. I love it. The sassy part of my soul resonates really deeply with that, and I have loved your honesty. The second thing, and this connects to the way that you like sought Jesus so intensely, is that you are really, really smart. And I don't think you believe that always, because when we're in the weeds of college and we don't like our classes and things are stressful and hard, we feel like, oh, maybe I'm not that smart. But you are so smart in the way you figure things out. And I got a text from Tuggle in the middle of the night last week that was like, have you ever thought about what the mind is? And she laying in bed researching the definition of the mind. And I was like,
those 2.
I was like, what? No, I was a philosophy major and I've never even done this.
You'll be surprised at what I come up with in the middle.
I know, because you're very smart, and I love the way you think through things and analyze things, whether that's medical stuff and your future career and surgeries, or whether that's figuring out who Jesus is and figuring out whether he is trustworthy and good, like we were all telling you he was. So, and then the last thing is that you're strong. So you're sassy and you're smart and you're strong. I think most of our community knows at this point about some of the stuff you've dealt with in terms of health, but it makes me emotional to think about the stuff that you have faced that a person your age should not have faced by your age, in terms of your health and your surgeries and the way you've had to think about life and death and the future, in ways that I haven't, and I'm older, and in the ways that most of us haven't. And you're incredibly strong. Like you fight and you push, and sometimes it's even stubborn because you like play soccer when your knee is messed up and stuff. But it comes out of a strength and a commitment to get better, to be healthy, to not let those things that you've been through and not let the sickness that you've dealt with define you. And I think that's incredibly strong. And I think you're wonderful. So I love you, Tuggle. I wish I could give you a hug like we all do. So I love you. Do you have any words of wisdom to drop on us?
One, thank you. I love you, because I also have Ketchel on my other side, so it's like my two. Probably words of wisdom is just like, is nothing about what I wrote. This is just coming to my head right now. Is just take it a day at a time. Like, a lot of you know my history, and so it's all we can do. As much as you want to think of the future and plan the future, promise is not promised. And find a family like this. That's all you can do. They support you, love you, whether you sit for 20 minutes in Starbucks and circle and color the O's in a whole thing like I do because I have anxiety, or you just kind of blurt out why they don't throw the fish back in the water or they keep all the water. You just gotta find a group that will let you be you, and that's all that matters. Because you'll be you, you'll love them, they'll fall in love with you. Hopefully, it's the goal, right? And just be yourself and take it a day at a time. That's all you can do. Just look at every day like it's a blessing, especially right now, and roll with it, I guess.
I was hoping that your advice would be, your words have gone through my mind so many times in the last month as the pandemic surrounds all of us. I always think about you saying, it's fine, I'm fine, we're fine, go Cox. That's how I'm getting through the pandemic. Repeating myself.
I mean, that makes two of us. That's okay.
For the sake of time, I'm going to switch up the order a little bit. And so, Sydney Luth, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay. I'm not ready for this. I don't think anyone ever is. Becca.
I knew it. Oh boy.
Yeah, when I got that email, the first thing is like, pick a favorite memory, and I was like, I can't do that. I had so many good memories together, so many ups and downs, so many long late night conversations, out of places, getting out of, out of community table, and out of my car, of all places. We were just listening to music. Sorry, my mom just walked in there. Just a lot of really good memories between you and I that we couldn't pick one, but just to sum it all up, I'm really, really thankful that I got to know you as a friend, and to have you in my life these past 2 years, to watch you grow in God and your relationship with Him, despite all the things that you've been through, and to have you there for me as well, to serve as a rock for me sometimes. So yeah, just thank you. You're absolutely amazing. And no matter what life throws at you, you'll walk as loud, as proud as a lion.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh man. Oh, whew. Oh man. Oh, okay. Oh, hey, Mama Lou.
Hi, this is my mom.
Turn it on.
Love you.
Becca.
I love you.
You stepped up when I needed you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Miss Stacy.
You have no idea what that meant to me.
Oh.
You were there for my daughter when I couldn't.
Oh man. Thank you so much. I love both y'all. I love y'all.
Love you too.
Oh man. Oh, trying to pull together for the word to
Yeah, I know. Hello, everybody else.
Never been a parent at senior night before.
Oh man.
First, Becca, you got it. What do you have for us?
Lay it on us.
So I wrote a little thing too, because I'm very bad off script, especially when I'm emotional. So I knew I needed to write it down. So I said, when I first walked through Russell House during the Org Fair Week back in August 2016, I never expected to find this random college Christian group playing signs at a game night. That following Tuesday, I decided to go to the weekly group gathering that they call The Deep. And that is when I met a few people that would change my life forever. I remember my first friends were Allison and Tori, and they, praying over me and meant so much to me. I thought I was just going to a Christian group meeting, but I'm starting to become a part of a community that is much bigger than myself. Looking back on how I first became a part of the Ivy community, it shows how much, or how even when we're not pursuing God, He's always pursuing us. I could never have imagined how much I would grow all around as a person the next 4 years, especially spiritually. One verse that has stuck with me for years on end is the verse Romans 8:38-39, which talks about how nothing can ever separate us from God's love. I just wanted to remind y'all of that. I even have a tattoo about it, so it means a lot to me. But I resonate with the fact that even in our highs and lows, God is with us and that He'll never leave us. In these last 4 years at USC, I definitely experienced some of the highest of highs, such as the Lady Gamecocks winning the championship. Go Cox!
Go Cox!
And also experienced the lowest of lows, mainly from a mental health standpoint, and also everything in between. But one thing that my life will always represent is that God never leaves or gives up on you. Having a community such as Ivy has been such a guiding light for me when navigating these crazy 4 years at USC. Each and every one of you on this call have made, and not on this call, have made such an impact on me in some way. And I'm just overwhelmed with gratitude for being able to just truly be myself with y'all. And the advice I have for my underclassmen self and to anyone else, especially those who are struggling, is to keep fighting. All you have to do is give it your all and God will take over the rest. Also embrace the God moments and just trust that He will provide for every need you have, even the ones that you're not aware of. So lastly, thanks y'all for all the support and amazing memories over these last 4 years. I will never forget the silly times like 1:45 Trisha, jumping into the freezing lake at Bob Cooper with a bunch of y'all like brothers and sisters. Don't forget original like V team. I've had it up to here. Me and Connor putting in hours in can jam and finally getting it through the slot, even though Lizzie wasn't there to see it.
Wasn't even worth it.
A fall retreat with the risk takers and getting killed in Uno by my co. That's my co.
That's my co.
That's my co.
As well. That stop, Eric. Stop. But yeah, like I said, there are just so many memories over the last few years, and I will never forget it. So I pray that y'all continue to keep on making amazing memories if you're graduating and if you're not. Skirt, yes, toggle.
Blow your nose.
Oh man.
Mom says blow your nose.
Thank you.
Mom says blow your nose. Everybody needs to blow their nose because you're all sucking in snot. So everybody take a mom moment and blow your nose.
Words of wisdom.
Sydney, you should share this recording with your mom.
Yeah, for real. Sydney, thanks for being here, even though you got to go.
Yeah, I have to go now.
Love you guys.
Thank you, Sydney.
Bye, Sydney. We love you.
Bye.
Your night.
For real, I've never had a parent on the senior night before.
That's what made me lose it. That's what made me lose it. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah, you were holding it together until then, Becca. I could see that.
I barely
really
was. but
asked
yeah.
my parents to come to this, and they didn't want to. So,
Also, Eric, I feel like that interaction really confirmed for me that I'm not like a mom. So you.
What? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Don't
What?
forget the Waffle
House. Never forget.
Don't call me mom.
Lizzie took the first opportunity to say, "Hey guys, I'm not a mom. All right, just because we've been joking about it ever since all of us were freshmen." He was like, "You know what? I can bait this out here and talk about this."
You paid her, didn't you? That's not a real mom, is it? You paid some random woman to show up on stage camera and just like act like a mother, so you could be like, "Oh, I'm not a mom. Oh, it's fine."
It was all part of my plan.
Listen, she's big sis.
Lizzie, you're a total mom. Total mom.
Agree.
All right. That was crazy. Okay, we're gonna keep moving along. So I'm gonna hand it over to Sierra to speak for who you are speaking for.
Alright, give me 1 second. All right, Liv, happy senior night. I know this isn't the traditional night we hope for, but I hope that tonight you feel loved and celebrated. When I first met Liv, all I actually knew about her was she was the girl in theater. Over the past 3 years, though, I've come to learn that she's so much more than just the girl in theater. Don't get me wrong, she's an amazing actress, but she's an even better friend and follower of Jesus. Liv has shown me what it truly means to live on mission. She cares deeply about her friends and wants them to know the greatest friend of all, Jesus. Her presence lights up a room, and she's a welcoming person to all. She is always there to talk, to laugh, to cry, and to pray with you. Liv is truly the definition of a soul friend. Liv, I've seen you put your trust in Jesus time and time again, and take risks knowing that he's gone before you and will be with you. I've seen you let Jesus into your brokenness and suffering and begin to heal you and transform you. I've seen him use you in the lives of everyone in this community, and including mine. Liv, he has used you to show me how to full-heartedly trust him, to let go of control and to trust his plan, that it is much better than our own, to take risk and to be a witness, sharing about Jesus and how he has transformed my life and invite people into community. Most importantly, he's used you to teach me how to not operate out of self-reliance, but out of reliance on Jesus. Thank you for keeping me grounded, holding me accountable, and pointing me back to Jesus in every situation. I'm looking forward to the next chapter of our lives, and I can't wait to see where Jesus leads us and uses us. I'm looking forward to our TO's night and our friend cruise once the world reopens. I love you, Liv. Always know I'm here for you. Happy senior night.
I love you, Sierra. Aw.
Yeah, this is kind of cool that I make people share once they're crying, but Liv, share.
So my words of wisdom, recently I actually heard this advice be shared to someone else, and it made me reflect on my time in college, and so I just want to pass that on to y'all. And that's to live like this is your forever. Don't think of college as 4 years, but think of it as the rest of your life. Because when I started at USC, freshman year, only did so much decorating in my dorm because I knew I would only be there for a few months. And I, got involved in theater because that's what I want to do with my life. But all the other activities, I never jumped in with both feet because I didn't see the point in getting invested in something that I wouldn't be sticking with for that long in my mind. And it's crazy to think that 4 years isn't that long, but it goes by really fast. And in my head, it was just this part of my life, and I never considered myself as living in Columbia. I was just going to USC, and I never got to know the surrounding area. People would ask me my freshman year, like, oh, where's somewhere good to eat in Columbia? And I was like, other than Russell? So basically, I would encourage you to treat this like it's going to be the rest of your life, like you're going to live in Columbia forever. Because it wasn't until really right before I left to go to England that I got like super involved in the Ivy community. I mean, so spring of my freshman year, I was in the galas with Catherine. And that was awesome. But because of theater, I didn't go to a deep that semester, I don't think. I hadn't met most of you or like really spent time with you until like getting back from England. I remember when I was weird because I got on vision team for the year of 2019 and then jetted off to Europe. And so basically it took that change for me to realize that I wanted to invest in my community at USC. And I just wish I had realized that sooner. Spiritually, that includes finding a church family. I'm so proud of the freshmen this year who have like been going to church with Sierra every Sunday. That's something that I struggle so hard with. By the time the semester would wind down to the point where I had free time to go to church on Sundays, I was like, well, I'm only going to be here for the next month, so I don't really like want to get involved in anything. And that hesitancy really hindered my spiritual growth, I would say, because you need community. And this Ivy community is so amazing. So the more the merrier, like the more Christian community you can get, just soak it all up. And yeah, I mean, I just also, I know something that I've gotten into just since all this coronavirus stuff has happened is prayer. I know you'll be proud, Ben. But like the prayer times that we've been doing at 9:30 and 4:30 have just been so great for me, especially in this crazy time of, you know, no structure whatsoever. But really, like, for me, learning how to just sit down and spend time with God. Because I've always been a popcorn prayer. Like, I've always been one of those people who just, like, every now and then, like, shoots up a quick prayer, which is great. Like, I am totally for that. But also having intentional time to be still and be with God is something that I've recently realized how important it is, and that's really fed me in the past few weeks. So I just give you all of that.
Yay, thank you. That's great. Thanks, Liv. Now, Nathan, you can.
Oh dear.
Oh no. All right. Eric, feels
Yes,
bittersweet. Yes.
Yes.
All right. It feels bittersweet that you're graduating before I am. You've been a core part of the fellowship of the InterVarsity guys, especially when our numbers were fewer. As you already mentioned, I remember the first night we met was at the game night Horseshoe in 2017. I remember noticing firstly you were the only other sophomore guy there. And I remember when we were like trying to find your group, it took forever because no one understood your famous football player reference.
What?
Who
was it?
It was something with Cooper.
Oh no, that wasn't me. I don't think.
Oh, it was you. It was you. I remember.
Was it?
Yeah.
Sounds like an Eric move.
Yeah.
Could be me.
All right. Throughout my years in InterVarsity, you've had a positive impact on my faith, most significantly through co-leading small group weekly meetings. I think it was in these meetings that we became friends, and at the same time, my faith in the Lord got deeper through our fellowship. You helped create an atmosphere that always made me anticipate small group, even if I was really tired that day or it was a really long day. And I always enjoyed your running bit of statements, accusations, exclamations, questions.
Thoughts, comments, concerns, concepts, conundrums, accusations,
There you go.
etc. Yeah, I'm a little rusty, but you get the idea.
Yeah. You and Connor have been there for me in tough times, and I hope that I can be there for you if you ever need me after you graduate. I pray that you succeed in law school and that God will use you to make this a better world.
All right.
Eric, drop some wisdom bombs on us.
Well, first off, Nathan, thank you. That was very nice. Like I said, love you. Hope everything goes well with the Navy. And hope you get to drive a huge, huge submarine one day with a huge, sparkling white Navy captain's hat. I assume they're still white, right? Are they like 1940s, right? That kind of hat? Am I imagining? All right, just
I
making
mean,
sure.
there's lots of different uniforms, but whatever.
No, but I want like the giant. Never mind. You can get it. I want like the stereotypical like Navy hat. You need that in the world's
Garrison
biggest
Cavalry.
submarine. Okay. Either way, time to start off. So I guess to start off with the quotes. I get the two quotes that came to mind when I was writing this, and then later the verse was. First one is pressure comes from a lack of preparation, and if we always waited until we're ready, then we never accomplish anything. So this ties into how I felt coming into college. I know some of you may know, I guess, my background, but in high school, I did not try at all. I didn't care. I only realized I need to go to college until about the early part of my senior year, at which point my options were severely limited. It was really either here or the University of New Hampshire, which I did not want to stay there. So coming in, I knew I need to try a lot more. I knew I need to find some sort of outlet, some sort of strength, and some to find motivation to succeed academically, emotionally, and spiritually. And the reason why those quotes tie in is because, to be honest, I was scared. I mean, I know everyone in some way coming into college is scared, but I mean, I think if I knew this as a freshman, that as long as you prepare and as long as you're afraid to take a little bit of a risk, at the end of the day, you're going to be fine and you're going to succeed with the effort that you put in. The Bible verse I think ties in with this is if you're a fan, if you frequented small group, you know how much I love James. Is James chapter 1, verses 2-5. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. This is a verse I particularly have gone back to a lot. I mean, as I said, I was not religious really at all coming into college. It really was just, you know, Easter and Christmas, the annual 2 times a year. But just essentially through InterVarsity and through you guys who I consider you all my family now, essentially. I was able to find basically a supportive group I've never had before. And I really don't think I'd be honestly, probably, I don't think I would have made it through college or gone to law school or accomplished anything I never thought I would accomplish without you guys. I really do mean that. I guess my lasting wish for the community is I want you all to grow close and hold each other accountable and continue to hang out and make memories together, because basically what Nathan was alluding to, while we were during small group, we would do Bible study, you know, read the good book of sorts, my memories aren't of what chapters we studied or what we went over or what questions we asked. It was always like, oh, this person said this thing, or, you know, Connor said something stupid, let's laugh at Connor, or, you know, just all these funny, stupid inside jokes that originated from small group. Those are going to be my lasting memories, and things are always cherished and loved forever. So I guess in conclusion, like I said, I don't think I'd be where I am without you guys. I love you all. You're my family. Drops the mic.
We love you too, Eric.
Bro!
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Strictly
Hey.
roommate though.
Wait.
You're
We're
missing,
no longer
you're
roommates.
missing the chat, Eric. You're missing the chat.
I'm missing the chat.
Oh,
Am I getting roasted?
Yeah, I said, bro.
No, you're not getting roasted.
Okay, let's see. F, bro, best roommate I ever had. Heart, various smiles. Oh yeah, shout out to Allison, who everyone thought was my sister back in the day. That was a little strange. I kind of forgot about that.
Oh, I miss
Wait,
you,
what?
bro. I
Miss
miss
you too, bro. Miss you too, sister. I don't know why I said bro. Becca's conditioned me. No, 'cause apparently,
You're my bro.
apparently I look exactly like her brother.
Oh yeah, you look
especially when I
more
had
like
shorter
my
hair
brother
and a
than my
beard.
brother does.
More like your brother.
That's amazing.
Well, I mean, Allison, I don't have any sisters, but if you want to be my official sister, you can be.
Okay, this is official. Officially official now.
All right.
What a moment. What a moment.
Aw.
All right, we have two more people to celebrate. And so, Daya, I'm going to ask you to speak next.
Ooh. So, Sierra, my first impression of you, I'm pretty sure I just thought you were nice. And, I mean, yes, you are. You're sarcastic. It's amazing. But as I got to know you, I really realized how great of a leader and friend you are. You always know what to say and how to lead us into this Jesus-centered community. You continuously have this great passion for Christ, which is really inspiring and amazing. You're going to do amazing things in Chapel Hill. You're going to set a great example. You're going to be an amazing leader. Yeah, I'm just so glad to have gotten closer to you this year. And one of the memories that really stands out is our road trip to Imago Day, just singing along and listening to Wake Up Opportunity. Yeah, it was so much fun going there and coming back. We had a lot of fun, a lot of jokes, as well as like just sharing whatever struggles we've been through. So I think that really like bonded us. Is amazing. With you, there's always these flood moments and laughter-filled moments. Sorry, I'm nervous. Whether that's studying in the middle of the night in Tiku or flying a paper airplane in the middle of Russell House, you put up with a lot of crazy antics. It's really fun. You're a really fun and comforting person. You're always there when someone needs you, and you've been such a big part of my college experience. You've helped me become part of a church this year and helped me like follow Christ and seek him more. You're just really inspiring. You also continuously encourage me to come out of my comfort zone. You're just awesome, you know? I really appreciate you. Love you.
Thanks, girl. Love you too. All right. All right. Words of wisdom. So InterVarsity changed my life. I mean, most of you know my story. I became a Christian at Fall Retreat my sophomore year. And since then I've watched Jesus come into my pain and brokenness and transform me. And he's still doing it. I've seen myself surrender the plans I had and ask God what his plan is for my life. biggest piece of advice is to always say yes to where God is calling you. Your yes can not only transform your life, but those around you. I know mine did. I saw my best friend come to know Jesus. I got to go to Ukraine, and now coming on staff with InterVarsity at Chapel Hill. Over the past couple of years, I've come to realize that college and life are so much more than grades. Take these 4 years and live every moment like it's your last, because you never know when that last will occur. Stay involved with InterVarsity, lead a small group, get involved in another organization, go to every sporting event, try a new restaurant, meet new friends. Don't get me wrong, school is important, but it isn't the end all be all. In a few years, you won't remember what exam you didn't do well on or the assignment that you forgot. Employers don't ask about your GPA. You'll remember the experiences and the relationships that you made. It's okay to not have everything figured out. I did not finally decide what I was going to do post-college until fall of this year, guys. Yeah, you have time. Don't rush, because before you know it, you'll be sitting here giving your senior night speech. Hopefully it'll be in Russell House. Hopefully it won't. Yeah, but you'll be back in Russell House, but you'll be in this position, giving your senior night speech. To those who aren't graduating, you have the opportunity to make this community what you want it to be. You have the chance to take ownership of our vision. Each one of you is a leader and has a story to share. My prayer is that this community is your place. Everyone knows the acronym, and invite others to find their place. So pursue one another and friends and invite them into community. Let others in, be vulnerable, be honest with yourself, be honest with Jesus. He meets you in your brokenness and your suffering and transforms you and heals you. Hold one another accountable, confront one another, and encourage one another. We're all on this journey together. Following Jesus isn't linear. It's full of ups and downs and everywhere in between. Be there for one another. The campus you'll be returning to is not the same campus that you left. Students are seeking community and connection, and now's your opportunity to invite people to find their place at USC, a place where they're fully known, loved, and accepted. Love you guys. Thank you.
Beautiful. Remember that time that I made an acronym and I didn't mean to, and then Keela's small group figured out an acronym? That was a good time.
Oh, the place acronym?
Thanks, Keela. Remember, I like the place acronym. I didn't mean to say place. I just was talking.
It was great.
Becca?
Yep. Hey, Eric, let's go ahead and take the L together. Let's take the L together.
The L we can't even figure out.
The L at launch, man.
Yeah. We could not figure out that. What even is the L? What's the L stand for again?
Letting others in. Vulnerability.
I don't even know because I
did not get that.
Letting.
You guys, I'll send it to you.
Like when we used it at the Deep earlier this semester, I was like, does anybody know what these letters stand for?
Can I just say, when that first came out of my mouth, I thought y'all were going to laugh me out of the room.
It has stuck. It has stuck with. It is the mantra of our small group.
Jumping off the vulnerability cliff.
That has stuck.
Okay, that
has stuck.
Very much so. Retweet.
So, last but not least is obviously Connor. But before I hand it over, I'm gonna, use the little staff rights to just say, Connor has been around for 5 years. I joked earlier that he's been here longer than me. But some of you who are alumni knew him his freshman year. Connor was so committed and so loyal and so quiet. And at the end of his freshman year, Adam asked him to consider leading. And Connor was basically like, nah, I'm not a leader. And I was like, challenge accepted. And it's really crazy to think that at the beginning of Connor's sophomore year, I remember we met. I can remember where we were meeting in Russell, and I asked you, like, what would you want to grow in spiritually? And you said, learn to be a leader, and learn to pray. And it's incredible to see the way the Lord has done those two things. So anyway, I just want to give a little shout out because like your quiet, faithful leadership over 5 years has truly been transformative in this community. And like, it's not always been upfront. It's not always been flashy, but you're a great leader. So I hope I didn't steal anything from the person who's speaking it for him. So Ryan, I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Oh.
Okay, so if I'm completely honest, I was genuinely surprised when Lizzie told me that I get to speak for Connor, just because he's been here the longest, and there's a lot of pressure on that because I feel like he's truly left his mark on USC. And so the first time I met Connor was at the lake day, which is actually the last time I was at that lake. And when I first met him, we were throwing a football in the water, and we were playing spike ball on the beach, and wherever I was, he was always talking with me and really getting me engaged, which I found to be so impactful because I just moved from Taiwan and I was really looking for a community on campus, and Connor was bringing me that community by representing how everyone at InterVarsity is, being so inviting and so caring for me. And over the semester and into this past semester, I've really gotten to know Connor better, and it's really been cool to see how God's been using him on campus. And so whether it's been hearing him and his special K-pop collection, or watching him magically bowl a 200 just because he's so good at it, or play ping pong, Connor's been a really great friend and someone who's taught me a lot about sharing God's love with others, even like outside of a Bible study and on campus spending quality time with people. And if you don't believe that Connor's had an impact on my life, you can ask anyone who is on campus this past semester who I dressed up for as for Halloween. And there's a photo of it somewhere, but I don't have it.
I have the photo if anyone wants it. It's a great costume.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
It was.
But all jokes aside, it's been really cool to see how God's working in Connor's life. As a leader and as a member of the Bible study, I've seen how he's used your reserve qualities to really bring out the best of our Bible study. And while our Bible study is not all just reading the good book, and there are jokes, you're always the one that is able to bring it back to the message in the Bible and what we're trying to get out of the passage we're reading for that night. And so it's been really cool to see how God's been using you in that sense. And even though you've never really felt like you were a leader leading up to this point, I would never want any other leaders besides you and Eric. And I think you guys have really left your mark at USC. And so the last thing I want to say is you'll be greatly missed on campus. But I do know that wherever you go to work, God's going to use you to be a light to your coworkers. And with that, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Ryan. Oh my God. Thank you, Lizzie, too. That was sweet. All right. So as I was sitting down to start to try to come up with what to write, just so many memories, 5 years of just small group retreats, V team, prayer meeting, so many fun memories with such all of you, so many great people. But I figured InterVarsity has really, as both Lizzie and Ryan has mentioned, InterVarsity has really molded me from the quiet freshman I am now. I'm still pretty quiet, but the awkward freshman I was. So I figured I would start with kind of what my thought process was coming into college and how that's changed. So I actually had the whole story written out, but then I realized it was way too long, and I'm not trying to give you guys that much of an insight into my awkward freshman self. So we're just kind of focus on the highlights. Coming into college, I was looking for a Christian community, but I was, in all honesty, I was planning for it to just be a once to twice a week, my weekly dose of Jesus, just kind of thing. Did not plan on it becoming my core group of friends that I love to death. And that's exactly what happened. And so I think what this kind of taught me is, yes, it's good to have a plan. It's good to be prepared. It's good to have an idea of how you want things to go, but be willing to have that open mind and to not to take a step back and not have a way things have to go, to leave some room for the Lord to work, because you really never know how the people you'll meet or the things you take a risk in and do, you never know how those things will really change you. And I know change can be scary and uncomfortable, but a lot of the times it can be very, very good. And so I also just want to give you guys my favorite verse from the Bible, just something to think about, something that always hits me, especially on retreats. As we know, everything is multiplied on retreats by like 10 times. But it's 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 8 to 10. A little bit of background. It's written by Paul, and he's talking about some incredible revelations he had. But then to prevent him from becoming conceited, the Lord gave him what's described as a thorn in his flesh. We don't know exactly what that is, but it was certainly painful for Paul. So verse 8 starts with, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses and insult and hardships and persecutions and difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So just remember that. Remember that in the things that you are most ashamed about, the things that you want to hide or run away from. That's where the Lord's power is perfect. Yeah, I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for making USC and InterVarsity such a fun time. I love you guys.
I'm your number 1 fan.
That's my co.
That's my co.
People are stealing each other's codes in ways that are not okay.
Hey, he's not my co anymore, so I can have whatever co I want, Lizzie.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Finally free.
Oh my. I gotta say, those moments when you guys share, and I hear you guys sharing your wisdom, especially when I hear you, like, multiple of you, like, reading scripture, that's what makes me emotional, because I'm like, people ask me all the time what the best part of my job is, and Tori knows this now, Sierra will know this soon, that there's so many wonderful parts of this job. I love being with you guys, I love the fun, I love the craziness, but I think the best part is getting to, like, watch you become mature adults and send you into the world, like send you into life after college, send you into the church and God's kingdom and what he has in all the different places. So it is a joy to watch you guys become such wonderful people. Just for the sake of time, I'm not actually going to leave time for you guys to text people right now, but will y'all do me a favor? Will you take a second and, like, either, I don't know if y'all have, like, any pen or paper near you, or use your phone, set a reminder, set a note. Will you just quickly jot down the names, like, look around the boxes, write down the names of the seniors that you want to text at some point tonight? Will you guys promise me that you will text each other? You'll do it?
Yes, Mom. Text you when I get home.
I walked right into that. I walked right into that.
Your whole spiel walked into that. I'm sorry. I had to do it. You know I had to
do it too.
Yeah. If you need somebody's number, you can text me. I think you all have my number. Yeah, just take a second and write down, like, who are some people on here that you want to just, it could be someone that you're close to that you want to be like, I love you and I've seen God work in this way. Or it could be someone that you're not that close to, but you're like, I've really watched this thing about you and really respect that thing about you. I think sometimes I think some alum would agree with this, that sometimes the notes and words you get from the people that you're not close to are really meaningful. because you're like, wow, like I didn't even know that person like was paying attention or knew that I existed. Not knew I existed. That's a bit strong. But anyway, so take a second, write some people's names down. Get your phones out. Write them down.
This is the only time Lizzie will encourage you to be on your phone, so take advantage.
Where's the box at?
There was the box.
I wasn't muted in time to say where's the box first, so I'm angry about it.
Well, what's in the box?
The box is in the middle of my dining room table because I'm a parody of myself.
All hail the box.
Are seniors doing this too? I know it's a dumb question.
Seniors.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Seniors can send words to each other.
Low key, just type the entire senior list. That's
Sarah, when I typed your name, Sarah, it autocorrected to Cherry. So just so
Cherry.
Okay, Liv, yours corrected to Love. So it's apt. Yeah.
Toggle corrected to Ruffle. So that's fine.
Mine went to Toggle.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like I said, if you need people's number, feel free to text me and I'll send those. Also, I'll talk about this in a second, but seniors, you will have a space with just each other with me to talk to each other, so you don't have to get everything out via text. But that's at a future date.
You're gonna try again.
Okay.
Coming soon to a theater.
Eric is just a black box now. But
Okay, so I was sitting outside, and it was sunset when I came out here, and now it's dark because that's how the sun works. I mean, Mom. I'm sorry.
everybody smile for a second.
Oh, the sun
Eric
is-
is just going to be a dark box.
No, I'm right here.
Smile.
Go Cox.
Go
Cox.
Go Cox. Okay, I'm going to end our time by reading something. I'm probably going to mute everybody for this part just for the sake of being able to listen. So this is a book that I have called Every Moment Holy that I would highly recommend. It's full of liturgies to pray for different events in life and like different things you go through. And this is called a liturgy for leavings. So I'm going to read this, and it's going to take a minute. It's like full pages, but would just encourage you to listen, to let it wash over you, pray, kind of see it as praying with me. And if there's a phrase that sticks out to you, feel free to write that down. It's not the Bible. It's not like we're doing Lectio Divina right now. It's very beautifully written. So if you want to remember anything, I encourage you to do that. So this is a prayer for leaving. Even in our goodbyes, there is a blessing, for the sorrow of parting is a measure of the depth of the bond we have come to share in Christ. Thank you, God, that we do not walk this road alone, but that this journey towards eternity and towards your heart has been, from the beginning, one that you ordained we should undertake in the glad and good company of these fellow friends. O Lord, make us ever mindful of one another, unto the end that we would labor in the days to come as those who would tend and encourage the stories of those around us, through prayer and friendship and thoughtfulness and conversation, affirming and sharpening and amplifying one another's good works, unto the end that your body would be built up and that your kingdom would be more fully realized in this world. Let us therefore go forth and steward one another's stories. Let us journey from here together as vessels of that mercy and as stewards of that wild and wondrous beauty that flows from the heart and mind of our Creator. Grant, O Lord, that we might take our leave of one another now, feeling a right joy for the blessings of the hours we've shared, even as we feel a bright and hopeful sorrow at their ending. By your Spirit, O Christ, make us faithful in the meantime as we go out to labor in the diverse fields to which you have called us, laboring unto that better future and unto that new-made world that is yet promised and that has already begun. O Spirit of God, be as present in our parting as you were in our gatherings. Be present in our journeys and be present in our days to come. Be present in our works and in our words and in our hearts. Be present in the bonds of this community, Lord Christ. Be ever at work among us and through us. Amen. God, I thank you for these seniors. I thank you for each and every one of them, that you know them and love them intimately. You know their past, you know their present, and you know their future. Even when we don't know our own future, God, you know it. And because of that, we can trust you fully, that you know us, that you're in control, but also that you are good and that you are loving, and that you have each one of these people near to your heart, that you love them and you draw near to them. God, thank you that your scripture tells us that when we draw near to you, you draw near to us. Would you equip these seniors to continue to follow you after college, to seek you, to find a church, to find community, to find fellow believers, and like it's been said tonight, that they would continue to grow in relationship with you as they are lights to the people around them, to the people they meet who are not following you. I pray that they would be a witness to the goodness of the gospel. Lord, I pray for them in the coming weeks as they grieve the lack of lasts as they anticipated them. Lord, this is not how we pictured Senior Night 2020, and this is not how we pictured the end of their senior year. So would you be near to them when they feel disappointment and grief over that? Would you comfort them and show them the ways that you are working despite weird circumstances where we are far from each other? Lord, as I've said many times in the last couple weeks, I do thank you for technology. I'm hard on technology a lot, but I thank you for technology that allows us to virtually be together, to see one another's faces and hear one another's voices. Would you help us to continue to grow in community and connection, even when we're far from each other? And as these seniors move to different parts of the country and of the world, would they stay connected to our community and to one another, even through distance? So bless them in their future endeavors, God. May they glorify you in all that they do. Pray all these things in your Son's name. Amen. Unmuting everybody. That's what I have for you guys. Seniors, I will be sending out some information. I'm actually going to change the night of the senior soiree because I'm going to do it when you guys finish finals, since you don't get to have any closure right now. I'm going to wait until you're done with finals so that we can celebrate together when you're really done. So for those of you that don't know, the senior soiree is when the seniors and I get together and reminisce and talk about the past and look forward to the future. Nathan, everyone's going to hate you.
And I hate you.
Big flex.
What is a flex? I just don't even know what to do with that.
You can take mine. Take my finals.
It was so wonderful to see all of you. You guys are welcome to stay on here and catch up with each other, or maybe this will be a reminder that you're like, I want to call that person and see them. Alum, it was so great to have you with us. It was so good to see your faces.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming through.
Yes, thank y'all so much.
Happy senior night.
Happy senior night. Y'all did it, dude.
You guys.
You did it.
Shout out Daniel.
So people can leave if they want, or they can stay and talk. People leave it. Okay, great.
Chicken grease.
Ending virtual meetings is maybe the most awkward thing I've ever been a part of. You that I'm having meetings with know that I'm like, well, it's been an hour.
Okay. I don't have to go anywhere, but I'm gonna leave now.
I'm gonna leave. So I'm gonna stop this recording now. Okay, bye.